And how would you explain dam inundation?
Well, dam failure inundation areas, one thing that's important to understand is that it doesn't trigger insurance requirements. So if you're within a dam failure inundation area, currently it doesn't trigger insurance requirements. That might change in the future, you never know. But it's pretty common to be within a dam inundation zone in flat-lying areas, especially if you're near creeks and rivers, because in California, we have over nearly about 1,000 reservoirs just in the state alone. And there's only a couple natural lakes. Lake Tahoe is a natural lake. Clear Lake is a natural lake. But almost every sizable body of water in California is a man-made reservoir. And so you would have a dam, and if that dam ever fails or even gets breached, you would have water flow downstream from that reservoir and possibly negatively impacting homes and life in general. So, and it really depends on, how much water is released, or if there's, we don't see instantaneous dam failures, where meaning the dam is there 1 minute and gone the next, but we will see partial breaches or collapsing of a dam where water over the several hours, it gets released from a dam or a broken dam. We saw it in Baldwin Hills in 1966, I think, in Los Angeles, and then also San Francisco Reservoir in Los Angeles in the 1920s. There was really kind of an engineering flaw with the dam and caused it to collapse, and I think 400 people died as a result of that. So it's really significant hazard. But engineering practices have improved over the decades and years, and so we do have the state responsible for having those dam owners check the dams, maintain them. We have Anderson Reservoir in Morgan Hill right now has been undergoing a retrofit and upgrade. So what they do is they lower the reservoir water levels to maybe 50% capacity while they're making improvements to the dam. Once those are finished, then they can fill it back up again. So it's something that emergency officials take really seriously, and they monitor those dams. And but from a disclosure standpoint, we've seen a lot of updates too. Over 800 maps have been updated over the last 4 or 5 years. I think it was Senate Bill 92 that the previous governor signed into law that required dam owners to update the information, because the dam inundation maps that we were using were very, very out of date. They were done in the 70s. Now with modeling that they can do with elevation modeling, it's so much more accurate on where they assume that the water is going to go. And so that's a good thing. So, but yeah, I mean, it is pretty common, though, to be in a dam inundation zone. And I would also say from a buyer standpoint, it really depends on how close you are to the dam to whether or not I would be, thinking about it as far as a deterrent from buying a property. If you're 20, 30 miles away from a dam, like say you're in downtown San Jose, that really wouldn't bother me that much. Where I live in Sunnyvale, we have an inundation area from Stevens Creek Dam, but it doesn't keep me up at night, but the water would mainly go along Stevens Creek. If I was right at the foot of the dam, it's another story, right? So it's all up to the individual, though, on what they, factor in with risk. So
check the full episode on our YouTube channel and on Apple Podcast.